Hi Capricorn, here's a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2015. There's another video out which is the overview of 2015 for all of the signs which I've done, which has me speculating about how certain aspects may be panning out across the planet and on the wider stage for all of the signs. But this one is just for you. You'll find the Mercury retrograde times written up on my website, plus a lot of the dates and the degrees and the information I'm going to be giving you here if you want to check anything. So there's going to be two solar eclipses in 2015. The first one falls in your third and fourth houses, which is on the cusp of Pisces and Aries on March the 20th. And it just connects a little bit with Mercury and Neptune at that time, so be careful there's no crossed wires, or you get the wrong idea, or somebody else has got the wrong idea and you haven't been clear in a communication, or they haven't, or just things are up in the air and you're wondering and you haven't quite, you can't quite nail it, you can't quite pin things down. So deliberately make sure you check things as far as you can and get confirmation on anything that's important to you, professionally or personally. This is a time for you to begin making positive changes regarding siblings or soul brothers and sisters, the neighborhood, maybe property, possibly family connections, also your ability to express what you feel and think and reach out to others, pick up that phone, get in contact with that person, put your cards on the table or whatever, be there for somebody else who's connecting with you in a genuine way. And there can be changes on the domestic front. So this is a benign neutral energy. It allows for positive change. Do something within the 24 hours closer to the eclipse as you can before the eclipse happens, and then that unfolds over the next 6 months. The same goes for the second solar eclipse on September the 13th in a different area. That's in your 9th house. So this is the moment to get the ball rolling with anything to do with travel or making plans or launching into a new enterprise, or plunging into some kind of new environment or new project, and you will be learning a lot from that. So astrologically speaking, as one of the cardinal signs, you're still in the front line with this long-running Uranus-Pluto transit, which I speak about on this other video I've mentioned. They're going to be really, really close. These two trigger energies of revolution and reform and meltdown and disruption across the planet, they're going to be close to each other until mid-April. But even though then Uranus starts to go on ahead and the two start to pull apart over the rest of 2015 and beyond, they're still going to be in very conflicting signs for many years, and so it's it's not over till it's over, basically. But at least that's good news for you Capricorns, particularly those of you born in the zone of Uranus-Pluto, which I'll give you in a moment, because that will mean that you don't get the two of them in a pincer movement on your, well, you've got Pluto in your sun, but you don't get the two of them sandwiching you in your sun in between. You'll get them one at a time, you see. So every little bit helps, Capricorn, you've got Uranus at the root of your chart until 2019 and Pluto in your sign up until 2024, I think it is. You are rebuilding, you really are, because Pluto really does, Pluto is the wrecking ball, but Pluto is also the regenerator, the new green shoots. Pluto is very, very interested in helping you to reinvent, remodel, remake, renovate, resurrect, from the ashes of the old way. But there is no getting away from there being a radical shift from the old way and even the old approach and the old attitude to the new way with Pluto. And you will get very deep insights into your true nature and what you're truly meant to be doing here on the way, and you will be feeling more sensitive. You will overreact, and this is the way of Pluto. It depends on which degree of your sun and how long you've been in the Pluto sort of in the thrall of Pluto, shall we say, in the orb, within the orb of Pluto. But you need to listen to your most primordial, primitive, gut-based knowing, which will lead you. It will lead you. It will show you the way to go. And yes, it's true. It may be against all expectations, all logic, all other people's opinions, but it will lead you. And it's up to you whether you trust that or not. Now, we have some really nice transits this year. Otherwise, I'll mention Uranus and a bit more about Pluto in a moment. But we've got Venus and Jupiter in the sign before. In the area of finances, property, joint finances and property, which is even though it's not in a very powerful angle to your sun sign, and it's not completely easy peasy, it's definitely an area where through which you can do well. And that's to say, the abundance of Venus and the potential of Jupiter can help you to make hay while the sun shines materially, through joint property interests or financial interests, or indeed just a joint interest that you have with another or certain others. And there's definitely a fair cosmic wind blowing through that area for you, and you can do well in those areas. Also in deeper feelings in a relationship. This is another way it works. And Venus here can be quite sizzly, make no mistake about that, even for you, Capricorn, who needs maybe a little while to warm up and make up your mind, but then you really do get to it. This transit here with Venus and Jupiter can mean that you get more involved with somebody in a love relationship. It just goes deeper. Your feelings are more touched. This can be in a romantic sense or not, you know. It can mean that there's just more riding on this relationship. It can, if we look at it on the grumpy side, it can mean power struggles to do with property and finances perhaps as well, and a little bit of sort of maneuvering and manipulating going on, you know, either towards you or by you. Of course that, you know, you wouldn't, would you? But maybe you just feel as though, well, you just get that very sort of responsible parental kind of look on your face, and you just say, no, naughty. This is the way it should be. I'm in control here. Because if your sun is near, or another planet is near the degree of Pluto, you might be really, really feeling as though you want to be in control of stuff. And the thing is, you need to be in control of stuff. Because that's the Pluto willpower there. So even though you do feel as though you're out of control, which often happens with Pluto transit, and you know, things aren't stacking up in the way you had expected, or you'd hoped, or you thought, you need to go to some place where you can be in control. You know, if you're artistic, go and do your art. You know, if you're athletic, go out and ride your bike. If you are, you know, love antiques, go to a few auctions. Just go to some place where you're in control outside of the main sort of ground of action, battleground, really. And then that brings you up in order to carry on and come back into the situation. So, and there's more I could say about that, but you get the gist of it, hopefully, anyway. So, yes, you could feel very emotionally supported. I have to say, with Jupiter and Venus in that area there, you could feel that you get that support from somebody. There's somebody there that's really, you know, you can touch base with. You can trust them. And some of you may even go in for some confidential, like counseling or something like that, or indeed turn that around. You could be seen as the supporter, but you will still need the support yourself. You could be seen as the counselor and the advisor, but you still need to get that mentoring yourself, and it's hugely important. And with Venus and Jupiter there, up until August the 11th, Jupiter, and up until October the 9th, from June the 6th to October the 9th, Venus, in that quite lucrative area actually, but also the area of feeling maybe a bit more balanced emotionally, you should really, you know, look into those sorts of things, because they will be moving out of there. So deeper connections in relationships, but deeper connection with yourself, deeper understanding of what you need and what your values are at this stage in your life. And then Jupiter moves on August the 11th, leaving Venus behind, and goes into a very positive angle to your sun sign. Likely that there will be goodies in the pipeline there. The previous position was goodies coming to you in a material sense, but when Jupiter moves, there will be goodies maybe to do with travel, to do with those at a distance, to do with foreign cultures, to do with higher education, training, seeking knowledge and expanding your perspective, or seeking advice, looking into the legalities of things. That's also another area where you can learn a lot. Venus is coming in there from October the 9th. So if there is something going on to do with the law, then probably the time that you will feel it's going with most ease and smoothly is when Venus comes in there at the same time as Jupiter. But it's not too bad with Jupiter in there on its own. Your awareness and knowledge base are certainly going to be growing over 2015 with Jupiter in there. Your views on life, the universe and everything, your belief system, maybe to do with religious things, maybe to do with just your general ideals, are probably going to undergo a change. And the best thing that Jupiter likes to do is learn through doing, very, very hands-on learning through doing. And all the natives of your sign will feel Jupiter this year, but when it goes into Virgo from August the 11th in a good angle to your sun sign, then those of you born up until about the 17th or with 24 degrees rising are going to feel that the most. Saturn has shifted, your ruling planet has shifted into the sign before yours. This is going to be there until 2017, having you clearing the decks and tying up loose ends from the past. Skeletons will rattle in the closet every now and again. And you, rather than brood over things, you should focus on getting, biting the bullet, getting proactive, getting sorted out with your old habits and the old blocks that we all carry around with us as well. Just getting rid of things so that you are in good shape when you meet the Saturn transit in your sign from 2017, which sounds like a long time. It's not. It's just over 2 years. And just get everything sort of tied up into a neat little bundle as much as you can. Also, serious work going on behind the scenes. That's another way this can work. And, you might be doing a very sort of serious project behind the scenes. You just got to keep plugging away at it, keep doing it. Also spiritual things, healing things to do with institutions of learning, but also of like medical places or healing sort of sanctuaries and centers and so on. You could see you visiting more of these kinds of places, taking that kind of thing more seriously now, maybe getting some training in that area, going in for meditation and mindfulness, but also yoga and Tai Chi and the like. And then Saturn does go back into Scorpio, and that means that you have to continue for a short space of time between June the 14th and September the 17th to put a steady flow of energy into cultivating the right people in the right way, maybe being a bit humble there, but and you're very, very good at timing. You can be quite astute and very shrewd, and don't underestimate that you can, because you're cautious and you're a little bit fearful as a sign, but you can be very, very canny. So you just know who are the right people to get on side, and Saturn will have you doing that again, as it has been since October 2012, between June and September this year. And also you being very much there for the members of the group or the elite of some kind, whether it's just like kindergarten or whatever, or whether it's sort of high-flying kind of politics or, petitions and charities and whatever it is about, or just, the bowling club, some kind of group. They've got interests in common, they've got beliefs in common maybe, and that's you being under pressure sometimes because of their needs and requirements, but also the other way is that they would hold the pressure with you because you can rely on them in a sort of Saturn kind of a way. And that's the very last few degrees of Capricorn that will feel that. That will be those of you born from the 17th onwards, or from 27 degrees rising, you're going to feel that the most. And if you're thinking about this from the point of view, because all of these timings I give you and the degrees, they've got a I give them to you so that you who have your natal charts can see whether they're close to the degrees, not only of your sun, but your planets in the sign I'm talking about. And there are free online resources to set up your own chart. All you need is your date, time, and place of birth. So Uranus is, ringing the changes for you at the root of your life, sometimes related to property, family relationships, and could affect the balance of things there. But you'll be sort of liberated, really. Uranus is all about freedom. Uranus is about sort of, I suppose it's sort of a kind of it's a sort of initiation in a way, because especially the angle that Uranus is at, you can feel quite sort of like, no, I don't want that to be happening now. It really isn't in my schedule, and yet it does have to happen. So you could be relocating with Uranus here, or there could be ups and downs related to where you're located, or property matters, or your foundations emotionally are rocked in some way or another. But then, of course, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and you are a tough sign. You're in there for the long haul. Capricorns usually live longer than any other sign as well. So you will be looking to see how you can make the most of this. Okay, so that happened. Okay, well, let's not cry over spilt milk. Let's see how I can capitalize on this. And eventually you will come round to it after you've reorientated and you've sort of kind of pulled yourself back together in. And that can happen like that, but it can also be simply that you're already somebody that likes change at the root of your life, and it's not usual for Capricorns to like this, but maybe you do. Maybe you're more flexible in that area, and you guys are going to really be enjoying this feeling of the winds of change blowing through the foundations of your life emotionally, but also externally in your environment. And schedules, sort of domestic setup and daily schedules outside of the home, are likely to change if you have the sun between 11 and 21 degrees, or born from the 4th to the 14th. That's really, really close, but of course the whole sign is involved, and 11 to 21 degrees rising, or at the sun around there, or born between the 4th and 14th, or another planet. And then choices coming from a deeper place as far as Pluto is concerned. I mentioned Pluto, and you born between the 4th to the 9th of January, this is, and that for Uranus was 4th to the 14th of January, or with 11 to 16 degrees rising, or with the planet or the sun near 11 to 16 degrees. You're going to feel that one the most of Pluto. Neptune gets some of you maybe more interested in psychology, the occult, mysticism. It's in a good angle to your sun sign. Maybe you just feel that your intuition and your awareness is developing, using your imagination and artistic ability more, maybe some of you, and going into sort of like new areas of dimensions of seeing and knowing, and you may discover that what you thought was written in stone as an absolute truth just gets overturned, and it's not as true as you thought it was, because your awareness is growing and you're expanding there, and a lot of things are happening when you're dreaming at night as well. Neptune rules the pineal gland, so maybe some of you are using that more sensitive side, the higher reaches of your human nature. And you Capricorns born from the 27th of December to the 4th of January with 4 to 11 degrees on your sun or another planet will feel that one the most. And that's it. That's it for 2015. And I hope you have a really eventful, interesting, joyful, wonderful, satisfying year. And I'll see you again the next time.